There we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hi, everybody. It's the CC and JT Amateur Hour Production Values to Go to Die. If you haven't figured it out already, that one's CC.
And that's JT.
And we're taking a second here just to relax and chill because we did the Race to Wrigley, baby. Race to Wrigley. Yeah.
Woo.
Race to Wrigley. Today's the Race to Wrigley, which is, of course, a 5K for various Cubs charities.
Mm-hmm.
Cubs charities. And we are happy to do it. We've been doing it for several years now. We have the t-shirts. We have the pain. Our hips, man. Oh my gosh. Our hips are feeling it right now, aren't they?
Yes.
But how are you feeling?
I actually feel good.
Yep.
After the last few days, ups and downs. But it was a beautiful morning out. A lot of people were on the trail.
Yeah.
The trees are starting to turn.
Yeah,
So it's getting a little bit yellow out there.
Yeah.
The hills, now anyone who is not familiar with Nevada, there are varying shades of brown. So the hills are different colors at different times of the year. And as we go into autumn, they turn kind of a rust color, and it's very pretty.
Yeah, it's
really
very nice.
Yep.
Yeah. And we are in good spirits because we are going through a good time right now. We're going through some good time right now, which we're going to go get into that. But we're going to do some very quick current events before we get into that stuff. First of all, your second book after Your Restless Spirits, book 2 is in progress. How's that going?
It's going well. I've had some epiphanies about how to get things going again, because book 2 is going to pick up pretty much right after where book 1 left off with a different couple. So it should be interesting, and I'm looking forward to getting it fleshed out.
And CC's gotten some really nice reviews on Passion Restored. I finally got it right. Passion Restored.
Quick story, a little bit of a tangent. So JT has been calling my book a variety of names, and this goes back to very early in our marriage, because we got married on June 5th.
Yeah.
And JT kept saying that we were married on June 6th. And I think at one point he actually forgot what day we really got married on.
Saturday, June 5th, because we couldn't get married on a Sunday.
No, because we did get married in a Catholic church and blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes, so the, saying incorrect things goes back 43 years.
It's a running joke. It's a running joke. We're just trying to be cute.
Actually, now that I think about it, September is the month we first went out.
Yeah.
So that's 44 years
now. Oh my gosh,
now.
my back. There goes my back.
We've been married 43 years, but we first dated in September of 1981. So that's how long we've been together.
And on my side of the house, as you know, the Serving Salvation series is complete.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten some good, some really, really great reviews, and
it's a great series.
I'm going to talk about the selling thing here in a minute, but I want just in one day somebody bought the entire inventory of the Salvation series, and I don't know if it's one person. Of course, I can't tell that.
True.
But it seems likely that all 3 books and Finding Salvation Part 1 was bought all in one day, so that was really nice. And Finding Salvation Part 2 is at Red Adept. And because of the editing schedule, previously we had announced that it was going to be in 2025, but it's not going to make it. So it's going to be sometime in 2026. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we're probably done, except for what we'll be talking about today. I think this may be our last release for the year.
Yeah. And then Finding Salvation Part 3 is being torn apart. And, hopefully I will be able to send it to terrycase.com later this year. I don't think I'm going to make it in September. So Terry, you and I are going to be swapping emails about schedules and stuff here. So, and after that, I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting.
Well, and since you're talking about Finding Salvation, do you want to talk a little bit about how you broke your, you were feeling a little stuck? Yeah,
it was actually CC who had the genius idea. She, not the last week, but the week before, she basically kicked me out of the house. We went and stuck me in a local hotel with 0 distractions. And you can see our house is just distraction central.
Overload.
What you're seeing on the screen is not even a sliver of what this house is. Right now, it is in Halloween mode. And no, we're not going to start the beating heart. We'll do that at the end of the.
That's fine.
We'll do it at the end.
That's JT's. He picked that one.
But this house is really just really Halloweened up. But the point being is just there's so many distractions in normal life. So what it is Cece kicked me out of the house so she could do some cleaning. But in doing so, really helped me work. So if you're a writer and you have that, if you're kind of stuck, especially with day-to-day life, the hotel was just right down the street, but it was enough to break me out of the cycle, and I was able to finish up Finding Salvation Part 2 and get it out the door to Reno. Awesome.
Well, and a nice side effect of that was there was some people watching because the hotel did provide breakfast. So in the breakfast room, we could do a little people watching. And we ended up talking to one of the managers there about books. So, not only getting out of your bubble does it help break you out of your routine, but it's also nice to kind of get out and talk to people every once in a while, too.
It really helps. So I'm thinking of doing it again for Finding Salvation Part 3. I don't know if it's going to be this week or down the road, but it definitely knocked us out of the loop. Next I want to talk about is very quickly, not very quickly, but I want to talk about is these interviews that we've been doing. We've got a couple dozen interviews now under our belt between the Nevada Author Network and our regular podcast. Now, what it is with the Nevada Author Network, if you haven't been following along, is that is our partnership between Two More Books LLC and Sierra Arts Foundation to highlight the writers who are a member of the Sierra Arts literary community. And we have been blessed to have some very fascinating interviews with the Sierra Arts literary community, poets, pros, really just lots and lots of folks not only learning about their love of writing, but learning about how they incorporate the area into their writing. And so if you are interested in that kind of of course, there's the interviews that we're doing for the CC and JT Amateur Hour. So we do this regular podcast one week, and then we flip it over to a writer for next week. And it's just we've had journalists, we've had memoirs. We just did a really great memoir. Debbie Russell. Was it Debbie?
Debbie Russell.
Yeah, yes. Debbie Russell, who did a very fascinating memoir of her family, and not only her family but her grandfather.
Yes.
And I don't want to spoil it.
No.
But that's going to be posted a week from today.
And it is something that resonated very much with both of us, and we feel like it's probably going to resonate with a lot of other people too. So you should definitely check out for that one. And the one we did with Dr. Deb Kosman,
right.
It was kind of a similar type of memoir situation with family relationships. So both of those are definitely must check outs because they're fascinating.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, carsonhume.com, and you look at writers, you'll go in there and you'll see the list of writers that we've gone through, and it's just they're just so good. And hopefully there'll be some names there that you see. And we are booked out for our regular podcast for the CC and JT Amateur Hour for the rest of the year. So you're going to see like 5 or 6 more interviews here.
Yeah. And
we're trying to get the Nevada Author Network, trying to get those all corralled up. So those are really, really cool.
Well, we're also getting, we're encouraging more people to actually join the Sierra Arts literary community, and the people who are already members, writers tend to be a little introverted, and it's very, it's a little frightening, I guess, for some people to do podcasts. We've been doing it for so long now, it's really no big deal.
Between the 2 podcasts, we're probably close to 300 episodes, and so it's like you said, some people, we can tell by emails and stuff, some people are kind of nervous about being on that kind of stage, and some people just, shy away, which we respect. Okay?
That's fine.
But really, I think if you talk to folks that have done it with us, you'll see that we're nice.
Inevitably, we always have a great conversation both on and off camera, and by the end, I feel like we've made a new friend. It's always a lot of fun.
One flavor of writer we haven't gotten is for St. Louis Cardinals.
Why did you bring that up because of the Cubs, huh?
Yeah.
Because the Cubs made it to the postseason.
Because the Cubs are going to the postseason, baby.
First time since 2020.
Yeah, postseason, baby. So, okay.
Yeah, that's a double-edged sword for us.
So if you are a writer in the Sierra Arts literary community, please reach out to us through our twomorebooks.com, and so we can get you all scheduled up. If you're just a regular writer, and we've interviewed people from literally across the country and around the world.
Yep.
So if you want to do that, we're not taking people right now because we are booked out for 2025.
Right.
We're going to open up the books here pretty soon. Maybe not October.
Probably
Maybe November or December sometime.
Yeah.
We'll open up the books, and so we'll start booking for 2026. And if you are interested, get your name in early, because when we open this up, we just got flooded with people, and we love it.
We do really love it. It's we're hoping that it is helpful for people. We do have quite a small following right now, but hopefully by broadening the people we're interviewing, hopefully some of our audience will check out some of the other people we're interviewing as well. So we're hoping that we build momentum.
Yeah, we have tens of followers, so it's like, it is fun.
Well, I don't know. We have the our regulars from Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have fun. People who.
So hi Lulia, hi Dublin. Hope you guys are doing great today. And things are just, we're going through a cycle. Now, we have to understand that writing is a life of cycles. It has, it just goes through this, as it goes through this. You're talking about book creation. When you're talking about writing a book, this is such a great idea. Why did I start this book? This is the worst thing possible. Yeah, this might be acceptable. Okay, we'll go ahead and sell it. Let me start book 2. Oh God, why did I start this? And it's just like that. And the marketing cycle is pretty much the same. Nobody reads my books, nobody reads my books. Oh, somebody reads my books. Nobody reads my books, nobody reads my books, nobody reads. It's the same thing. And right now we're going through the part of the cycle where people are buying our books, and that's just fun.
Well, I think this is actually the first time we've had this consistent of a series of sales. And part of the reason, I think, is because JT dropped the price of the book ones to 99 cents on Amazon. So people are taking a chance on his multiple series now, because you have the Serving Salvation series, which is science fiction. There is the Emma Parks series, which still hasn't been selling yet, but I really enjoy Emma Parks. It's kind of an urban, she is a child protective services worker. There's a law enforcement element in it. So if you're interested in gritty realism, that's a great series. Of course, there's the Sheriff in Nevada series, which
we'll be talking about.
Probably the most popular right now. And then there are the Tucci Chronicles, which if you're into gritty, really gritty, graphic, not safe for work type of sex and violence, then there's something for everyone, honestly.
And for the writers who are following on this, who are always thinking about their first books, and how they sell it and how they package it and everything, keep doing that. Don't stop doing that. But also frame it in the brain that you're not writing for the first book. You really, I was so against doing series. But I'm changed. I'm converted. I'm like a born again Catholic. I'm like a born again Catholic.
Oh right, because Zoe, I forget. People check out Zoe. Well, you're going to turn probably Zoe into a series.
The series are the Finding Salvation Part 1.
Oh right.
The Hope Knocks Twice, which is the CPS ones.
Yeah.
The Love and Death on I-80 West series.
Yeah.
The Serving Salvation series.
Right.
And then the Sheriff in Nevada series. But
so I wasn't counting the Finding Salvation and Serving Salvation as separate, because they're kind of the same universe.
Yeah.
So.
But still, series. So what you're doing is when it comes to book ones, you want them to do so well, but you got to be writing. You're writing for the future, which is something I didn't realize at the time, and I just resisted doing series until somebody ding 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 talked me into writing the second Emma Parks book, and things just sort of went downhill from there.
And I think that this is a very good illustration of why series work well for authors. It is possible that if one person bought the entire Serving Salvation series plus Finding Salvation, if that was a singular person, it's because the Serving Salvation trilogy was finished.
Yeah.
And that is something else to keep in mind, that some people might buy your books as you're releasing them, but some people might wait until you complete the series. So it can go both ways. But definitely people do seem to like following the same characters through multiple books.
Yeah, it's people always want to know about the happily ever after. If folks ever give the happily ever after, and I'm going to just give things away. I like happily ever after too, but there's also realism, and I try to be honest to the characters. If they deserve a happily ever after, they get it. If they don't, they don't. and that's just human nature.
Well,
I got a 1-star review on the Sheriff of Nevada.
He was actually really excited about
I've got
that.
a
He's
1-star
like, oh my
review.
God, I got a bad review.
I should
It
rate
was a
it.
rating.
They didn't write the review. A 1-star rating. I'm
Yeah.
like, yay! And folks who read the first book of Sheriff of Nevada, they know exactly why it got a 1-star.
He got another message. This has happened multiple times that once people get into the book, I'm not going to spoil it, but we inevitably know when they get to a certain part of the book because we'll get these really upset messages like, what did you do?
Yeah, hi Uncle Mike. and Cynthia, your former boss.
My former boss.
And that's not the only ones. They get...
Our fan club president, Kappa.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she was so ticked.
She was not happy. So if that intrigues you.
But you have to respect the characters, and you
Yeah.
have to respect the reader, and so writers do these things.
And I understand why it happened, but I think I probably even mentioned to you that I had a hard time reading it. But it is funny because we inevitably know, and I was actually surprised. My former boss, not to put her in the spotlight here, but she was initially hesitant to even try the book because JT writes female characters and she's had problems reading male authors writing female characters. But I assured her, and I think she agrees with me now, she's working on book 2 at the moment, that the characters were fine. So I just randomly, even though we no longer work together, we keep in contact pretty frequently. But it had been a while, and then I just get this random text out of the blue. What did your husband do? And I'm like, oh, she got to that part of the book.
Okay, so 99-cent books, first book in the series. Let me try that again. First book in the series, dropping them down to 99 cents as a hook to pull people into the series, it seems to work. Because this morning when we woke up, somebody bought Sheriff,
Yeah.
and I don't know if Cece noticed it, but we went in there and there it is.
Oh, nice.
Somebody also later, not when we woke up, but since we woke up and since we sat down here, somebody bought book 2. Now, of course, we don't know if it's the same person, but as a hook, it seems to be working. So,
well, and I'm not sure. We have talked about it. I may drop my the romance that we co-wrote, Tundra. We may drop the ebook to 99 cents for that, and for Passion as well. And now, when you do the 99 cents, is that just on Amazon?
That's just on Amazon.
Okay.
But I'm actually considering now expanding it because it's working out so well. So we are on Amazon, Google, Apple, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo.
Yeah.
So, I may just drop all the first books down and just say, hey, just do that. Just for the ebooks, obviously. Print
Right.
books are,
they're expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive. So we're just going to go ahead and keep that. But for now, just feeling good about things.
Yeah.
Feeling good. So,
and actually, there was, JT has been very consistent, but there was a paperback of my Passion Restored sold this month, or was it this month or last month?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been a handful of sales, but considering this year we've really started promoting more, I think we're doing well.
Yeah.
I feel like it's starting to come together.
No, but I still am keeping it framed in my mind that this is a cycle. Things go through cycles. Things go through cycles. So...
And I keep telling JT it is okay to be pessimistic about it, but also be a little bit optimistic because this could be leading to even more consistent sales as our reach broadens, which we could probably go into now mentioning how we're broadening our reach by doing more local events this fall.
Yeah.
And we're signed up for quite a few of them.
Yeah. So we're coming up on a cycle where we're almost, consistently for about 4 weeks out of 6. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
4 weeks out of 6, we're going to be doing local events where you can, visit us. We're so caffeinated right now. We did this 5K, and so we're down, and then we come home and we have Jack, and now we're caffeinated. So I'm going to try to do a slow down. I'm just going to try slow down. But
well, he's also riding the high of selling books. Plus, there's the endorphins from the walk because we did the 5K in an hour and 10 minutes. So it's not, blazing pace, but that's not bad for a couple in their 60s.
Yeah. Okay. So very quickly, we're just going to run down the list here. So we're going to be at the Sierra Arts Foundation Bookfest in Sparks, Nevada on October 11th. I think these are all Saturdays.
Yes.
I think these are all Saturdays.
I think so.
And then the following week, we're going to be over here in Carson City, over at the Brewery Arts Center, which is on West King Street. We're on October 18th.
Right.
And then we're going to take, I think, a 1 week break.
1 week break.
We're going to take 1 week break.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be setting up our booth at Nevada Day.
Now, I'm expecting that one to be huge because tens of thousands of people come to Carson City that day for that celebration. So we'll see. If you want to see a fun statehood celebration, definitely come to Carson City because everybody's here.
Yeah, Nevada Day Parade is just such an event for our state. And we've talked previously about how we changed state law to accommodate, Nevada Day. And I guess at this moment we need to take a quick diversion to salute Guy Rocha. Guy Rocha, who was the past archivist for the state of Nevada, who passed away this week. He's in our thoughts because for so many reasons. He was your mentor. He was your boss. He brought you into the archives so many years ago. He took a chance on somebody who, on the surface, could have been a problematic hire because you were.
I had several jobs.
Yeah, I
had kids.
Yeah.
I was, when I applied for the job, I was running for Board of Regents. So I was running for office and I was told that they were hesitant to hire me for that reason. I was not their first choice, but thankfully the first person bowed out. And I hope in the long run that they were not disappointed in their decision.
I don't think they were, considering that over the years they've eventually found full-time work for her, and they made you the senior archivist for many years. You were the institutional memory for many years, and they still the archivists there still track her down and ask her questions about this, that, or the other thing. So and that is all due to Guy. So
I will say that Guy was a very interesting personality. He had quite the life. I didn't realize, I may have heard at some point along the line, but not only was he a great historian, he was very into wrestling. And he was a coach of the Carson High wrestling team for a while and actually was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame for his support of wrestling. So he was quite a well-rounded and fascinating individual. On a more personal note, he was also a person of Portuguese ancestry, which I ended up learning while I was working at the archives because I had access to genealogical websites and found out, which I had not known, my family didn't talk about it, but I have very strong Portuguese ancestry too. So Guy Rocha actually taught me how to pronounce things better in Portuguese because his name is Rocha.
Yeah.
There some forms of Portuguese, obviously Brazilian Portuguese would be different, but Rocha, it's a softer sound. And in my case, my ancestors were Fernandes, not Fernandez. And that was another story. But
anyway.
Yes, so thinking of Guy right now and, hopefully everybody who knew him, and he knew a lot of people. He actually was known on the national level because he corrected President Bush's pronunciation of the state of Nevada. So quite the character, and definitely in our thoughts.
Definitely in our thoughts. And we thank him not only for the contribution to our family, which was important, but not nearly the level of impact that he had on Nevada and the nation. And we thank you, Guy, for everything.
Yes.
Getting back to, his impact on Nevada Day is, we'll let you Google it, but he had quite an impact on Nevada Day, which is controversial, to say the least.
Controversial,
but for the purposes of this podcast, on November 1st, we will be somewhere in Nevada Day, somewhere selling our books. And
probably on Curry Street. I think there's
hopefully we'll be Curry Street, but it's up to them.
Right.
And then on November 8th, the following weekend, we'll be back at Barnes & Noble. And if you want to get some early Christmas shopping, yay, we'll be there. Come by. Anyway.
And I will say, on the early Christmas shopping front, if you want to get a book that you know somebody probably has not read yet, you can be pretty safe in checking one of our books out.
Yeah, I mean, they're read, but okay.
By a small audience. So it's probably anybody that you're giving gifts to, unless it's somebody that we personally know, they probably haven't read it yet.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to do the thing that we've been teasing and tagging folks about, as we're going to talk about the third Sheriff of Nevada book. Third Nevada book. Okay, so first Nevada book. So Sheriff of Nevada and Sheriff of Nevada Downfall. So if you are into rural law enforcement stories, I'm thinking like Longmire, Yellowstone, those kind of things. And Sheriff of Nevada, they came around before those guys did, but because they've been out, Sheriff I think has been out now for 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. And so I've gotten a lot of good reviews, gotten several reviews, as a matter of fact. I think, let's see here, let's take a quick peeky here. I think the book one, scroll, there it is right now. It's up to 49 reviews and ratings, and including that 1-star rating. Yeah, maybe.
You should probably explain why you find that so exciting.
Because if you get all 4s and 5s, which is common.
Yes.
People don't like giving bad ratings unless they're in a bad mood, or unless the book really deserves it. But if a book gets all 4s and 5s, then consumers rightfully believe that it's just families and friends.
Mm-hmm.
So to get a 1-star review, and this has also gotten a 2-star and 3 stars, it means that it's out there. Mm-hmm. It means people are reading it, so that that's cool. So keep them coming, folks.
And if you look at any very well-known authors, people like Stephen King, who we mention quite frequently, they're going to have a lot of bad reviews too, because it's just normal. The more people that read your book, there are going to be people that just don't like your book.
Yeah, so to get 1-star review means that it's out there, which is so cool.
I couldn't believe he was so excited about 1 star.
But hey,
right, it was cute.
Writers. The third book was a challenge though, because I wasn't really sure to go which way to go, and so Downfall came out in, I'm clicking on the site here to remind myself. Downfall came out in, I don't remember. Do you remember when it came out?
I want to say it was a couple years ago.
Yeah, 2019.
Oh wow, that's farther back than I thought.
Yeah, see, so here are 2025.
Took a few years.
And so again, somebody was hinting that I needed to write a third book, but I didn't really have a hook. I didn't really have something. I don't want to say a hook, but I didn't have something to build around. Mm-hmm. And I kind of did, but it didn't seem very complete. And then lo and behold, right after it came out, of course, then something happened to our nation. Mm-hmm. And it didn't sink into me until a couple of years ago that this was what needed. And even then, I hesitated to write the book for reasons you're about to see. Mm-hmm. I hesitated bigly, as they say. I hesitated bigly about writing this book because I really wasn't sure if I was ready for it, because things happen.
Too fresh.
I mean, we know people that were strongly affected, very, very affected.
Yes.
And our nation was affected, and I really wasn't sure if this was something to do. And then as I continued to think about it, I noticed one thing in the media, especially the social media platforms, where the memory of this time was fading. Mm-hmm. And it's like,
it doesn't take long.
And I was having a problem with that. I was having a problem with it fading because things happened during that time, events happened during that time that changed all of us to this day. And to let it just fade like it did not seem fair to the people who did not make it through that time or who are still affected today. So I started to start thinking about it around that. And I am going to say right up front, this is not going to be a popular book or a popular subject, but I think it needs to get out there. Mm-hmm. And I have to give credit where credit is due, is I'm not the first in Northern Nevada to broach this subject. Jackie Turner wrote an excellent book called Love Virus about 3 women in Reno, and it's just so well written. And Jackie is actually was one of the betas on this book and provided suggestions. So thank you, Jackie. Got a lot of good suggestions from my betas to incorporate that. So without further ado, the Sheriff of Nevada, Corona. Yeah.
In case you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
For people who might not be aware, COVID-19 was also called the coronavirus.
Yeah. So Sheriff of Nevada, Corona, very excellent, very lurid cover. There's the mountains of a mountain in Nevada, of course, but behind it is a woman wearing a bandana. And the controversy. Nevada was a mixture of opinions, shall we say,
We're
about
a purple state.
Yeah, purple state. But once you left the urban areas, the opinions definitely went towards one direction, and this is reflected in this book. And so this book focuses on March 2020, and talks about the events and brings back some of the things that happened in that. And it was difficult to write. It was difficult to remember. And again, it affected all of us. The first person that I was aware of that got COVID was my boss. When I was still in a day job, and so they had to isolate themselves immediately. And it's like, and we at the time what we knew, it's like it wasn't a death sentence, but it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen to this person?
For a lot of people, it was. If it was anybody who was immunocompromised, and you mentioned it affected us on a national level, but it was international, and it felt like the whole world shut down. Yeah,
and not to make it about us, but Cece and I both had COVID eventually, though we didn't have it at the time. I caught my COVID. So there was 20. So when did I do the cross country trip? It was 2020.
It was 2023. Because I was still working.
So I caught mine in 2023 after I did my cross country trip. I caught it in Cheyenne, and then 2 weeks later, I was down for the count. And then you caught yours last year?
Yeah, actually, it was a year ago this month.
Yeah, a year ago this month.
Yeah.
Where you spent some time in Sacramento,
yep.
And you caught yours in there. And, we didn't, it sucked.
It was not fun. And, people say it's just a bad case of the flu. No. And I have to say that I think the reason we didn't catch anything for as long as we did was because we got as many of the immunizations as we could. And, not to go into politics, but I really credit us not only masking and social distancing and all that stuff, but definitely the shots too.
Yeah, so this book brought back those memories. This book incorporates those times, and it captures hopefully the era and the taste of March 2020 when we didn't know what we didn't know. And so I felt it was a necessary book on many levels. It is, again, for the betas will know this, CC knows this, is a natural progression for the characters that are in the book, for the first and second book.
Yep.
And I cannot predict at the least how this book is going to be taken.
Well, I will say, you mentioned Jackie's book, Love Virus, and she was hesitant to release that because it was very raw. I think that one's been out for a little over a year, maybe now.
And it's worth, by the way, it's worth a read.
It is heartwarming. I did hesitate to read that one because just talking about, JT talking about writing the book, there is a little bit of trauma related to that time period. It was very frightening for very many people. So I can understand people who might not want to read it. I was hesitant to read Love Virus. I'm very glad I did, because in some ways I felt it was cathartic. And, sometimes, like you said, things fade, but even if you experienced it and it starts fading, it's going to come back and hit you at some point. So sometimes you kind of have to just work your way through it by addressing it. So, whether or not people decide to read it, I definitely think it's a worthwhile book. JT did a great job, thanks to people like Jackie helping with the beta read. So it's, just because something is difficult to read doesn't mean you shouldn't read it.
And I guess the obvious question now is did I write the book or did I publish the book at this time as a political statement when the current administration is pushing back big time on not only just the COVID vaccination, but all vaccinations. And and those who are writers will know that a book like this just doesn't spring up overnight. No, I wrote this book over a period of time, several months. I don't want to use the word coincidence because I do not believe in coincidence. But on the flip side, I did not sit on it for, until, for 2 more years until the next election. I thought this was a natural time for this book to come out, but it is not a political statement about current affairs.
No, if anything, it may be a political statement about prior current affairs, because it did have an effect on the elections here in Nevada. And the change of administrations was pretty much based on what happened during that time. So, all writing is political, whether or not it's overtly political. You can't really avoid that, because it's just basically whatever you think and feel. And you might write what you're feeling, and you might kind of try to explore how other people are feeling about it. And I think this book does a little bit of both.
Yep.
It's, I don't know if you can say balanced, but I don't think it's leaning one way or the other, but you will kind of get an idea that, the way the writer thinks.
So for the keyboard warriors that will probably be doing some knee jerks when they see the title of this book, all I ask is that you be fair and you read the book. Be fair to me and read the book. If you come at me, just based on the cover and just say, blah, 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 I'm going to respect your feedback accordingly. I'm going to give it the amount of feedback that it deserves. But if you come back and you say, XYZ during this ABC, I didn't think that this was accurate, that of course I'm going to listen to that, because
Right.
I want that kind of feedback on everything I write. That's what we need. But a keyboard warrior who thinks that they're going to fight the cause of vaccinations and things like that without reading my book,
Right.
you're
It's
as I
not
said,
fair.
you're going to get the amount of attention and respect that you deserve.
Yeah, it's not fair to judge somebody just based on a book title and the subject matter. You really have to read it before you can remark on it.
Yeah, and that's the way with all books. That's the way. Cece and I are on record about banning books. If you want to ban a book, first of all, you read it, and then you tell us what parts that you feel are objectionable. If the writer is still around, give them a chance to explain. But read it first.
And I don't think books should be banned anyway. I think reading the books that's a personal choice. And I mean there are a lot of books that I will not touch for various reasons, but that doesn't mean I think they should be banned.
Right.
I mean, something can be learned from them, whether or not I choose to learn that lesson. But that doesn't mean that I can decide for other people whether or not they want to read it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the third sheriff book will be out in public, will be released on October 31st, 2025, and I get to say my favorite words, the real Nevada Day. Don't get me going. The real Nevada Day. If you do come to our book signings for example, the Sierra Arts Foundation Bookfest on October 11th, or Mark Twain Days on October 18th, or even Nevada Day, November 1st, the book will be there if you want to grab your copy of it, and we'd be happy to sell it to you. So otherwise, it will be out there. It'll be out there in the wild on October 31st. And lovely news on top of that, I've already received pre-orders, multiple pre-orders for this book, and I didn't do any advertising. So yay for that. And again, you might think it's like, family and friends. I've gotten more for, no. I've gotten more, I only have like one or two.
No, it is fun to get those numbers, and that's not the only reason we do this, of course, because obviously up to this point, and we just did I think maybe our last podcast where JT and I sat down and talked, we were feeling a little glum about not having any sales, and then right after that things started to pick up, because I think that was the point where JT decided to drop the first books to 99 cents, which some people I know do it as a perma-free. It depends on what platform you're using, but it definitely seems like a good idea to drop the prices on the first books just to get people to try them out. So
yeah, you know what? And if you buy one of the books and you're saying, the series is not for me, you don't buy the rest of the series, I understand that. But totally on board with that. Your taste. I appreciate you taking the time to look. Just from that, and people are doing it. People are looking, and people are rating it. People are reviewing it, and God bless you. God bless you, God bless America, et cetera, et cetera.
And I think these are really fun books. Obviously, I'm biased, but they're a very good representation of Nevada. I think in my opinion, they're a very good representation of a strong woman working in a male-dominated field. and the challenges that she deals with and the drama in the local communities. And a lot of that is, I think we can thank people like JT's beta readers and editors for giving the hard feedback sometimes that, maybe something didn't ring true for the character. So it is JT put in all the heavy lifting, but it is a collaborative effort. So we do thank our support team for all their work on this too.
Yes, God bless the beta readers. So, Kappa, Terry, Jackie. Who am I forgetting? I'm always forgetting.
The Red Dep team.
Dan.
Yeah,
the Red Dep team, and of course, the chorus, the Greek chorus for our books is Terry Case, who does Terry Case. .com. She watches it on her TV, and so when I hit that low point there,
at some point we're going to have you on our podcast, Terry.
Yeah, Terry. When you be on the West Coast, we're going to have you over here because we are very grateful because Terry is a hard editor, which I need. I need that whip.
But they have found a synergy, which I am very happy to see it. I know he flinches a little when he opens Terry's feedback, but inevitably he says, nope, she's exactly right.
Yeah, she's right. She is right.
I think the two of them mesh well because they do have some similar experiences in their past.
It's what I need. So I'm going to do it again. Terry Case. .com. Okay.
No, this is not sponsored by Terry.
No, we don't do sponsorships. We don't.
Yeah.
And if you're a writer too, we don't require you to pay either because we enjoy it so much. We could pay you.
We do really want to help people find a broader audience because we know what a challenge that is. And we have found so many interesting new writers. My TBR, I'm going through the TBR. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to finish the book than others, but that doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it. It's just, I really feels like it's broadened my horizons quite a bit to meet all these fascinating authors.
Okay, so we're in a good place here at the CC and JT Amateur Hour. We're going through some fun times. To recap very quickly, book ones of the series are 99 cents out on Amazon, and I guess I'm going to go out to the rest of the world, and I'm going to drop them down there too, because this experiment seems to be working. We're going to keep it going, and so we're going to do that. We're going to be available in person between Reno and Carson and Sparks here very soon.
Just so to sweeten the pot a little bit, I may be dressing up for some of these events in some period appropriate clothing that maybe not historically accurate. But if you want to see me making a fool out of myself.
And of course, finally, we have the third Sheriff in Nevada book coming out, which is probably going to be our last book for, as you said, for 2025, which is fun because that means we have more books for 2026. Anything else? Do you think we've bored these people enough?
No, I think we've had a lot of really interesting news. And, if you are someone who has been feeling a little bit down about your book sales, definitely, try dropping the price if you have a series. Try that first book, dropping the price. Or a lot of people, we have not done this yet, but do the free giveaway to get people to sign up for your newsletter. Mm. We hear that also works really well. So, definitely switch things up a little bit. And also, if you're in a spot where you feel like you're stuck in your writing, maybe go on a staycation because that, I'm amazed. It not only helped kind of get the juices flowing again, but I think it really helped his mood to get out of the house for a couple of days. Yeah,
because you get stuck when you live and breathe and work in the same place. We
love it, but after a while, we do need to get out and just kind of spread our wings a little bit.
Okay. So anyway, today's the last day of summer. If you're seeing this on, what is this today? Sunday, September 21st. This is the last day of summer. We're going into fall, folks. We're going into what I consider maybe the best season of the year, at least for Nevada. Oh, it sure is pretty.
So beautiful.
So beautiful. So we hope that you had a wonderful summer. We did. We had a good summer. We didn't have really a hot summer. We had a good summer.
No, the temperature here was amazing. I think we had less than a week, maybe in the hundreds, which is unusual for us.
Yeah. So going into fall, and then hey, if you're gonna do Christmas shopping, yeah.
We have so many books.
I mean, holiday shopping. Happy Kwanzaa.
And if it's just a case of treat yourself.
Mazel
That's the
tov.
other thing that we will probably have, at least at some of our book signings. We don't talk about these very often, but our new book bags. So we're going to bring these to at least some of our book signings. I'm pretty sure we will not have them at the Sierra Arts Foundation book signing or Barnes & Noble, but our other 2 signings, we may have the bags available.
Okay,
so
okay.
if you want to treat yourself.
We're in a good mood and we're caffeinated. That's why we're talking all this much. Let's wrap it up and let these folks get back to their lives.
Hey, you're the wrap-up guy.
I'm the wrap-up guy. So thank you for joining us again. If you are interested in checking out writers that are in Northern Nevada, we invite you to check out the podcasts on twomoorebooks.com. That is where we have our joint partnership with the Sierra Arts Foundation and Two More Books LLC, which help where we highlight members of the Sierra Arts literary community. Hey, these are fantastic artists. You can check them out there. And if you want to check out other writers that are not members, we are also doing that here every other Sunday with our regular podcast. But for now, over there is CC.
And over there is JT.
Y'all take care. Thank you. And happy Halloween.